In 35 years, Miami will be underwater.
The world sure is warming up.
Hello, my name is Avigail.
And my name is Clara Frankel.
And this is Reality Check.
Episode Heating Up.
We are going to look at the negative effects of climate change.
And we're going to think of ways to help.
Climate change is a long-term change in Earth's temperature since the pre-industrial period.
Can we tell that there's climate change from where we live?
Yes. Since the 1800s, the temperatures have increased about 1 degree Celsius per decade.
Well, that doesn't seem a lot by itself. That can add a lot over time. But how is that dangerous?
The climate heating up can lead to ice melting into the sea and sea rise, leading to cities being underwater.
Not to mention that the fact that it also messes up the ecosystem of the ocean, because a lot of animals need cold weather to survive.
Not only in the sea, but also on land, animals need to have warmer weather, colder weathers to survive. For example, things like polar bears and penguins.
And as you might be familiar with, there's something called the endangered species list. How could that affect the list we have?
The list could become more heavy on animals that live in cold climates, and it can also endanger animals that live in more middle of the road climates that now all have hotter. Everything will become hotter, so all animals will need to adjust to it.
And a lot of animals like polar bears and penguins, they may not be able to live in this, and a lot of currently endangered species might become extinct, like the dinosaurs. How does this affect humans?
Global warming also changes weather patterns and makes severe weather disasters more common. Not only will they become more common, they will also become more intense.
And global warming as a threat to bigger animals also makes smaller animals that they eat as prey that are dangerous to humans. It makes it harder to get rid of them, and there's more of them. So what can we do to combat this?
Some easy things to do to combat is to, instead of buying new things, reuse old things so that more things don't go to landfills.
And when you're driving places, it's better to try to carpool because that's less of a carbon footprint. Avigail, what's a carbon footprint?
Carbon footprint is when a lot of things that we use, like cars, release carbon, and that carbon goes into the atmosphere and creates a blanket over the earth so none of the heat can escape.
In other words, it makes it so warm air stays and it gets stuck, and the carbon, which isn't super good for us to breathe in, gets stuck here and endangers the different species that live on Earth. But by carpooling,
you can reduce the amount of carbon released into the atmosphere.
As well as buses and trains. That's also more economically friendly.
Additionally, you can try to use reusable shopping bags.
What about different forms of electricity? Does that also impact climate change?
Yeah, electricity also gives off chemicals that are harmful to the planet. So you can try to turn off lights when you leave the room to help make sure that that doesn't happen.
What about ACs and heaters?
That you could also try to use them less, or at least if you're not going to be in the room, just turn them off.
Wait, are you saying that so many things that can help the environment are also really good monetarily?
Yes, they are. So since a lot of things about helping the climate is just using us, it could also help you save some money.
Not only could we do things that would help in the long run help the world, there are also simple things like you could start a garden using compost from food scraps.
Or you can just make sure to recycle boxes you might get from online shopping into fun toys.
There's lots of cool things that people can have that are actually made from recycled materials. For example, I have my phone case. What do you think that's made of? Plastic. But what type of plastic? Recycled plastic.
You could also take recyclable things to certain stores like Costco, and you can put them in and get money. While climate change and global warming really affects our planet, there's a lot of easy things that we can do to help combat it.
And if everyone does a little extra something, it'll be able to maybe save the world.